Sadguru Paramatmane Namaha, Shri Ramachandraya Namaha. After surrender to Gods and Guru, Shri Gurudev in Prabhu Prarthana today further preaches thus: Utpidaka na bane kisi ko, ho vinamra mrudubhashi, Seva dharma parayana hove, tajkar आश पिशाची, Hey Prabhu, Asa Mann Kar Do. Meaning, the aspirant in a very emotional state of mind prays to the Lord that he does not want to harass anyone. Be polite and courteous to all. Be free from all bonds of dependency and serve mankind selflessly. We call the Lord Karuna Nidan, Karuna Sagar, all merciful, an ocean of compassion. A person with such thoughts is naturally endowed with compassion and cannot cause unhappiness to others. Ahimsa or non-violence means non-injury to others in thought, word and deed. Some people habitually slander their opponents, mock and ridicule them with overt gestures denoting criticism, sarcasm or condemnation. If we can forgive others, then alone can we be called true devotees. Jap, tap, that is penance, vrat, that is fasting or religious vows, and sadhana cannot be accomplished if we cannot be kind and compassionate enough to pardon others. Forgiveness drives away enmity and revenge miles away from us and keeps the mind serene and calm. We conveniently forget our own faults, easily remember those of others, and make a long list of them. We remain restless with thoughts of vengeance and wait for the right time to strike back. A poet thus says, Bura dekhan main gayo, buro na miliyo koi, jo khoju dil aapno, mosam buro na koi. When I sought for wickedness in others, I found none. When I introspected within, I realized myself to be the most wicked of all. The day we begin to look into ourselves, search our soul, then and then alone will true bhakti knock at our doors. Bhakti enveloped in arrogance and ostentation is not called bhakti. To mentally torture anyone is a form of subtle violence. A person who is not merciful is a selfish animal, a hard insentient stone. He cannot be called a human being. Shabd sambhali boliye, shabd ke na haath na pao. Ek shabd hai aushadhi, ek shabd hai ghaav. Meaning, a person feels very hurt when hit with cruel words. The wounds of swords or weapons heal with the passage of time, but the wounds of the mind, inflicted by verbal abuse, taunt, and sarcasm, do not heal easily. Soft and tender speech is the first step on the ladder of the spiritual journey. In Hindi, the tongue is called rasna. If the word is split into ras, na, it means without taste or without interest. Have you ever observed an angry man? He almost shivers with the heat of anger. His flared nostrils, his red eyes, arched with high eyebrows, doubled with a frown, clenching teeth and strong gestures of hands, accompanied by shrieking verbal abuse, are ample proof of his true nature and attitude. It reflects his heritage and culture. Anger converts a heavenly, peaceful home to hell. Bitter words break a person's heart. Gurudev says in Balgoshti, Kasa krodh ho nirmol? He answers, Aparad jakar bhol. How can you uproot anger? Through forgiveness. Everyone admires a person who is polite and soft-spoken. Harsh words and rude behavior generate animosity. Satirical, discourteous words hurt people's feelings. Few words spoken calmly, humbly, and politely at the right time and right place comfort others as well as make them happy. Civility adorns such a man and reveals his modest personality. A person having restraint over diet and speech proceeds quicker towards sadhana or spiritual goal. Even after prolonged satsang and serving Sri Guru-charan, the lotus feet of the Guru, we cannot discipline our speech. We insult our own actions of puja, chanting and homage. We cannot benefit from such actions. Shri Gurudev says, Hinsa chori aru vyabhichar, kaya ketre dosh vichar, jhoot pishon aru vrutha pralap, यह तीनों है वाचिक पाप. लोभ क्रोध अरु द्वेष महान, मानस के त्रय दोष पखान. नव से बचे करे जो ध्यान, करते बना कृपा भगवान. Gurudev says, a violent man, a thief and an adulterer commit sins with the body. A liar, a critic and a useless prattler commit sins with the tongue. An angry, revengeful, greedy man commits sins with the mind. These 9 disabilities of the body, speech and mind have to be conquered. All these not only retard spiritual progress, but also diminish our business and social status. Only if we detach ourselves from materialism, our level of desire, sorrow and depression would decrease. We should be inclined towards dhyan, service to God and bhakti. Then alone can the perfect mind shine forever. In the second line of this couplet, Gurudev says, Seva dharma parayan hove, tajkar ash pishachi. Let us ponder on the words Seva dharma and pishachi ash. Our scriptures say, Satyam vada dharma chara. That is, speak the truth and follow the path of dharma. Gurudev compares seva to dharma, where dharma has to be practiced, not just preached or exhibited. It can be said without doubt that if seva to others is rendered with patience, equality and compassion and love, dharma is practiced in the true letter and spirit. In today's world, there are many religious people. But how many are righteous and virtuous? Shri Gurudev in Balgoshti says, Santan ka kya dharma? He answers, Pitu Matu Seva Karma. What are the duties of children? To serve their parents. Children should serve their parents with selfless sense of duty, without expecting anything in return. Old age homes are the biggest curse of today. How many old parents live with self-respect in their homes? Through difficulties and self-denial, parents bring up their sons with love and affection. They sacrifice everything to nourish and educate them. The same sons grow up to learn and earn well and scorn their elders. It is a shame that 5 sons with 5 magnificent houses do not have space in even one corner for old parents. Harassed parents shuttle between the 5 houses like guests in transit. What do such distressed parents feel for their children when they are compelled to stay in old age homes? Seva also means service to poor, the deceased, the diseased, the helpless people, the emotionally deserted, our own brethren, and the children of our Father, the Almighty. Seva can be rendered physically, mentally, and financially. Seva cannot be called thus if rendered with a motive to attain status, fame, and money. Under the guise of religion, seva, and dharma, people satisfy their greed, accumulate wealth, and inflate their ego. Religious scriptures condemn such shallow thoughts and selfish actions. Such people slip downward to fall into the grip of devilish thoughts and desires, that is Pishachi Ash. Service rendered by them is called business and not seva. Once you start calculating the fruits of your seva rendered and expect something in return, the seva sentiment vanishes and trade replaces it. Beware, it is like exchanging an exquisite diamond for mere piece of glass. Shri Gurudev says, Granth Panth Sab Jagat Ke Baat Batawat Teen Ram Hriday Man Mein Daya Tan Seva Mein Leen. All religions and holy scriptures proclaim 3 things. Surrender your heart to Ram, mind to mercy, and body to selfless service. Seva Parayan means totally immersed in seva or good actions. The servitor feels an immense, incomparable sense of satisfaction or gratification, a completeness which cannot be achieved through status, fame, or the highest honor. A person rendering selfless service is capable to travel on the spiritual path even while remaining a householder and fulfilling his pious obligations towards his family. Compassion, mercy, and a sense of dedication and a willingness to serve humanity selflessly are the adornments of seva or dharma. Such thoughts and actions purify the mind. They cleanse the contaminated mind and obliterate the ego by advocating it to just let go or renounce the fruits of his actions. Lord Krishna compares such actions to Nishkam Karma Yoga. If we do not have love and compassion, how can we give it to others? We cannot give something we don't possess, can we? Service means tangibly serving all the living and moving temples, that is humanity, instead of just praising the Lord in flowery terms in our prayers, says Swami Vivekananda. Whenever Poet Rahim gave alms to the poor, he never looked at the person who was receiving them. On being questioned, he said, "It is the Lord who gives through me," while the people assume that it is I who am the giver. I am ashamed by the false fame that comes my way, so I dare not glance up. Sri Gurudev firmly said, "It is not the receiver that is blessed, but the giver." Be thankful that you are allowed to exercise your power of benevolence and mercy in the world, and thus atone for your past and present sins. S.T. Coleridge has rightly said, "He prayeth best who loveth best all creatures great and small. For the dear Lord who loveth us, He made and loveth all." So, service to mankind is service to God. Our growth is stunted because we do not apply the knowledge we possess or share the boundless love gifted to us by God. By sharing and caring for all around us, we achieve self-fulfillment, a joy, a feeling of contentment, liberated from limited consciousness and our finite time. Divine joy outlasts everything. It is ever enduring. When all melts away, that joy remains. A person's password to realize himself is his intellect, that is buddhi, which concentrates on the present, whereas the mind would rather wander to the past and the future and focus on that which you don't have, that is desires. One should understand that you get what you deserve and not what you desire. Therefore, the mind would learn to reach the ultimate goal if it learns to discard the psychological disturbances of despair and pessimism inside it. One can attain para, the highest sublime state, by gradually enlarging the scope of one's being. One can attain harmony and unity within oneself and with all living entities in reaching the core of all life in the universe. Conquer the mind and you would conquer the world. The spiritual aspirant requests God to condition his mind thus. Sadgurudev ki jai.